There we go.
First time today.
All right, we'll bring the hospital authority board meeting to order. Do we have any staff or trustee additions or deletions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, staff has no additions or deletions.
All right. We'll move on to adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It is adopted. We're gonna move forward to our public comments. Someone?
It would be nice if you would introduce the attorney. Since it's not Mr. Kennan.
Okay. Mr. What is it?
Oh,
I'm sorry. Mr. Steve Mercer,
yes.
would you please introduce yourself?
I'm Stephen Mercer with law firm Robinson, Kennan and Kendron. I'll be filling in for Todd Kennan here today.
Can I ask him a question?
It's public comments.
Well, I'm making a comment then.
All right.
Mr. Mercer, are you up to speed on everything that's going on at the authority? And is this going to be temporary or permanent?
I believe it's just temporary. It's just for this meeting here, Ms. Summer.
Okay,
And Mr. Kinnon has given us a statement.
you read the statement?
I will, it's just as soon as we get to that agenda item.
Okay. I think I'm gonna hold the others until the comment actually comes up under new business.
Perfect. All right. So, Mr. Andy,
Ms. Gandy.
Ms. Andy, I'm gonna have you go on ahead and do it now, just in case, because I don't want to miss it or fall on the wrong line item.
No worries. Sorry, I'm super nervous.
No.
So I just had some ideas that I wanted to present to the city. I know that a lot of people are not excited about what's going on with the hospital building. And I have a couple organizations that are nonprofit that I've developed in this community. And one of them is a group home, and it is for women. And that was an idea that I wanted you guys to just think about for that hospital building. Also, it's not a hand up program. I'm sorry, it's not a handout program. It's a hand up program that we do. We've had been open for about 2 years, and we've had great success with this program. But it's our mission is to help women and children who have been some of them have come out of drug addiction, prison, just in and out of cycles that are unhealthy, and helping them restructure their lives and rebuild their lives to help them become better and give back to their communities. We've had this program for about 2 years now, and it's really a 6 to 9 month program. And we say if it needs to be extended up to a year stay, they can. It's very small right now, like I said, but we've had 7 women already go through this program, and none of them have been relapsed into the conditions that they came out of. Almost every single one of them have come in that were homeless, and now they have jobs, vehicles, they got their children back and are providing, to this community. So I think something like that, would be incredible to go into a building like that. I was thinking each of the hospital rooms even has a bathroom, so you can make each individual room into a 1-room apartment building for these women with their children. And they have to do finance classes, they do parenting classes, they do life skills lessons. It's like a rehabilitating program. It's not just come in here and stay and do nothing. We do random drug testing on them and everything. But also the other things in there, like the kitchen area. You could turn that cafeteria into a soup kitchen. Then in the summertime, we could do meals for the kids program when they're out of school. That's the area where a lot of kids, could even walk to get to there. Also, I think about the elderly. There's a lot of elderly in this community. And I've been in a lot of their homes where they receive the boxes where, have the cans and the rice and the beans. A lot of them can't cook this food and do these kind of things. So we could prepare meals where, it's frozen, and, do meals for the elderly. So I think about there's so many programs that would also, we do all of our programs that we do is like integrated with the community. It's not just us. We send them to therapists in the community, we send them to parenting classes, some of them have gone to the pregnancy care center. So it's not just us doing everything. So they're actually getting new community. When they leave these, the houses and places that they've been in, they have to get around a new, style of living. So that's what we think, having them go into different organizations, they're making community amongst the community. But I just wanted you guys to think about, not just what's going in there, because I know having what this is said, Meridian going in there, I think that's gonna bring a lot more problems to this area. When we could have this area to be a hand up program, I think it could even be a model to other communities and cities to take these buildings that are not being used for anything and even for programs to help rehabilitate. A lot of people don't realize too, a lot of women, it's actually a pandemic more than we know because they don't say, because they're scared of DCF getting involved. So a lot of them are living in their cars or living in hotel rooms or living on people's couches, but they don't say anything because DCF will get involved and take their children. So it's a bigger problem, much bigger problem than we think. This year, we turned away about 23 ladies that we didn't have space for. So I just had that idea of like, if we turned it into a community resource help center in the inner city, that would be absolutely incredible to help people in our community better than just what is going on there right now.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Wolf,
Is that a topic to comment on, or that new business? What was it?
this was just general comments.
I thought that was a proposal from Celeste.
She just wanted to have a general comment.
So that's the one. I think when you start talking about people with mental health issues, which deeply runs in my family, and I think the video has really done a good job, in my opinion, of securing that concept that I thought that everybody had come to an agreement on, but to shift it from a mental health facility for those who need help. Not saying that people in shelter, but we're not changing to a shelter. I don't see one stigma being better or worse than the other if you're looking at it from a stigma standpoint. But you have people who run around and say things about homeless people all the time, and people that are displaced. Just like people run around and people say things about people with mental health issues. So I don't know about that, but my whole pitch would be if the authority board wants to entertain something like that. In my community, there's 100 Black churches on every corner. I would love to see some of them don't. Maybe y'all can get with some of those Black pastors and tell them to take one of those 4 or 5 member churches, put them together and turn them into centers, homeless and women, things of that nature, because I really don't see the representation of it in occupying so major space in the community. Not paying on taxes, that's tax roll and a membership, so by noon, you'll get better bang for your buck on that cost of if someone like her would take off and the people who need shelter in those church buildings that don't have a membership. That's something that maybe the authority board may want to call a meeting with the Black pastors and try to work out.
This is one comment, that was a question.
What? Barbara? You know what? Why not? Shoot.
Columbia County is proposing 2 bills for the upcoming legislative session about dissolving the authority. The county, despite the will of the people, the authority continues on. It appears the authority wants to perpetuate itself. All the funds that are left should be designated for an indigent care trust. Indigent care is the primary purpose for which the authority was created. By establishing the fund, the legislature will follow the will of the people. This board is no longer following the enabling legislation since there is no position on this board, which was part of the enabling legislation. You as a board member need to resign immediately and let the county take control. This would save time and money. There was that referendum, but you guys just totally disregarded it.
Thank you, Ms. Lim. Any other public comments? Excellent. Austin, public comments. On to approving the consent agenda. Have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved. On to our first item of new business, discussion and possible action, partnership with Florida Gateway College Foundation to create a nursing scholarship and to participate in making application for matching funds through the state of Florida Line Fund. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will explain to you to the best of my ability what I understand the line fund to do and how we may participate in a program that would benefit graduating high school seniors in Columbia County. We also have a number of guests here from Florida Gateway College. And of course, they can be more specific if needed with any questions that you may have. But the purpose of this item being on the agenda tonight is to simply ask you if you wish to participate with the Florida Gateway College Foundation in a program that would create a scholarship program which would provide nursing scholarships to graduates of both public and private schools within Columbia County who meet certain conditions. And basically, they would receive 100% tuition waiver at the college, assuming they were accepted under their general guidelines for admission. Now, I said that, and it comes with a lot of discussion. Number one, it should be understood that the line grant applications are due this month. So that's the reason it's on the agenda. And the second thing is there are legal requirements that one must meet in order to participate in this program. Now, I've had several meetings with Todd. He and I have discussed those legal requirements. At this point, he and I both agree that we think there's precedent which would allow a hospital authority to participate. We have similar program in the state. We have a similar type arrangement through a hospital authority that participated in the grant. So there is some precedent. However, Todd wanted to do his own research and he wanted to do his own vetting. And so we're going to ask you tonight, if you decide to participate in the program, to do it subject to Todd's final confirmation that he has no issue with it from a legal standpoint. Now, having said that, I included in the agenda packet some information about the line grant, the line fund as it is appropriately called. If application is made and if the Florida Gateway College Foundation is funded, they basically would receive $2 million to be matched with $2 million from the authority. That $2 million would come from the prepaid lease component of your reserves, not from the tax money or from the ad valorem money. It's all taxpayers of Columbia County's money. However, the $2 million would come from the prepaid lease component, not from that raised by the ad valorem. In the event they should not be funded the $2 million, there is no obligation for us to continue to participate. And even if they are funded, if we should find that there is an issue from Todd's standpoint, there's no obligation that we continue at that point. But the bottom line is this program would create what we would hope would be in perpetuity, a program where graduates, both public and private schools within Columbia County who could gain admission to Florida Gateway College would receive a fee waiver and basically would have a free ride in a nursing program. The line grant does not permit it to be used for other medical programs, so it's limited to just nursing. The whole purpose of the program, if you read the background material, this was the state's way of trying to address the nursing shortage that we have in the state. Again, there is a precedent for it, in the state, but Todd wants to do his own vetting and make his own determination outside of that. We see no reason that you should not go ahead, if you're interested, and approve participating with the college, which would allow them to file the grant. And then, of course, we will keep you advised if there is a problem in the future. Now, having said that, Mr. Chairman, members of the trustees, there are representatives here from Florida Gateway College Foundation, to answer any specific questions you may have.
I have a question. And this would be to somebody from Gateway. Okay. If someone is enrolled in the program because we go forward with this, and for some reason we have to back out, what happens to those kids that are enrolled? Do they continue with the free tuition?
Step right up. Thank you. My name is Lee Pinchuk. I represent the Foundation for Florida Gateway College. Chairman, trustees, thank you for having us today. Trustee Chancey, I think that. Can you clarify your question based on the back out? Where's the back out happening? After it's funded or before it's funded?
Before it's funded, we vote to go along with it. You take the application, somebody starts. And then something occurs that we have to back out of it.
We would not start funding any scholarships until the program's fully funded between the state match and the hospital authority's
Okay.
contribution. Yeah.
Okay.
So we wouldn't even start until then.
I was thinking that, I was like, yeah. They wait for the check to clear.
That takes care of my question.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Beal.
So I noticed, and hopefully I didn't overlook it. So the 2 million contribution level would match to create an endowment sufficient to provide no cost tuition for eligible Columbia County residents. How long do you foresee this? If you get $4 million, how long would that last as an endowment?
Thank you for the question, trustee Beal. I do want to clarify one thing before we continue the conversation. At one point, when we had talked on the with Dale, I thought there was a talk of $2.5 million from 2.5. So up to the trustees on what they want to do. But at one point we talked about 2, one point we talked about 2.5. So just want to throw that back out there. So if you're talking about 2.5, let's just assume $2.5 million, and then the state of Florida is going to come in and match that $2.5 million. Now, the way an endowment fund works is that we invest those funds and they're intended to last for as long as we can make them last. Quite simply, on $5 million investment for what we anticipate spending on these students, that $5 million with no earnings or interest will last 19 years. We anticipate it to go at least double, at least not triple, or in perpetuity. Our intention is in perpetuity.
Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Pinchuk, Don Kennedy, nice to meet you, sir. I assume that the way this would be set up is that if a student, I assume their goal is to get the 2-year nursing first, correct? Most of them?
Correct.
Okay, and they would be recipients of that scholarship for the 2 years. And then at the end of the second year, let's say they decide they want to go and get the 4-year of the bachelor's nursing, I guess, would they be eligible to get it for the full 4 years or just?
This is for the 2-year.
Just for the 2-year
For the
program.
2-year program.
No.
That was our intention. Right.
Thank you, sir.
So very specific to a nursing degree, not a CNA, not any other tech position specific to nursing.
What?
And do you want to say what the exact degree is?
Yes, I'm curious.
It's the associate degree in nursing.
Okay. So.
That we,
It's the one that directly
Good.
links the licensure. This is the license as a licensing. So our goal would be to get them from starting with us to licensure.
For someone that's not real up on the lingo, would that be an LPN or RN or what?
RN.
Who?
All right.
Please.
RN,
DDR.
okay.
I think Ms. Chance is the only one that really knows.
I mean, I know what an RN, I
I've
thought
got a
was
rough
a
idea.
was a 4-year degree, it's
No,
just a 2-year.
It can be a 2-year
Then what do you
degree.
call a 4-year?
That would be a bachelor's.
Bachelor of nursing.
So they're called
Bachelor
bachelor
of
nurse.
nursing.
And then a nurse practitioner is one that's got 5 to 6 years.
Either a master's or a doctorate.
Yeah.
Okay,
So for the line fund, it is looking at pre-licensure programs. So once they finish the associate degree at Florida Gateway, they would then become licensed. So the BSN is a post-licensure program. So that is why this is geared towards the associate degree program.
and again, as Mr. Pinchuk said, it would just be for the 2 years that they would be eligible to receive the scholarship.
Correct.
May I interject something here? Gentlemen, for all of you, someone who has their 2-year degree has the to be able to earn enough money to go all the way through their doctorate if they want. Okay, because they go for their bachelor's and they can work and get their degree. Many of the nurses have done that. Many of them have gotten their bachelor's and gone on to their master's or their doctorate. I have daughter-in-law that did that, but she worked the whole time. And it makes a difference in the dedication. But it is possible.
The reason the state of Florida came up with this fund is that they want to promote nursing education. We're so short on nurses. And this is an opportunity, the fund can be used for other purchases of equipment or scholarships. We've chosen to just scholarships because we can more students educated to go into this field. And when we think about, and Mr. Williams said it perfectly, but when you think about students, we think of those 18-year-olds who are in high school, but I encourage you to think beyond that too. Let's think about, which is included in this, but I want you to have your viewpoint of a student as a single mom, possibly a single dad, mid-20s, working some dead-end job, and knows they want to be a nurse, but can't figure out how to balance. How do I go to school? How do I provide for my family at the same time? What we're talking about combining resources for today would make that extremely possible for a lot of people because they would have no cost. This would cover all of their costs to attend.
Any other thoughts?
But from your knowledge, your colleagues around the state, are you in touch with them on to see how it works in other areas, other state colleges such as Florida Gateway?
We are. There's one other program that has done this with a hospital authority specifically, like Mr. Williams mentioned, and the state matched those funds and it's working just as intended. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
All right. You good, Mr. Mill? Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Do some
Thank
public
you.
comments. I know Miss Lindley written this one down. Would you like to take it, address us?
The deadline for those intending to apply for the line fund must complete and sign a notice of intent form by October 6th. I know you guys don't know that answer, but can anybody on the Florida Gateway College, did they file a notice of intent?
Yes, that has been done.
And before this board proceeds, Mr. Kennan is not here. And it would be nice to know what he thinks, even though he's doing his own research, how this board can make a decision when you have no knowledge from Mr. Kennan. Mr. Mercer probably does not have access to that information. So I think that needs to be held and showing any other authority what they did to provide themselves as a medical provider as defined by the statute which set up the line fund. And I know you don't have that information. Mr. Mercer probably does not. And I don't know if Mr. Williams can provide any information. I just do not think this board needs to proceed when no information has been given. So I think it should be held until Mr. Kennan returns next month. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see.
You should, go ahead.
I was just double checking to see if I saw Mr. Bowden's post that he wanted to discuss on today, yes.
I mean, it seems like this board is less wiser each meeting. More bullshit put on the agenda. It's not even related to the original mission of trying to get these buildings occupied. You know, we got somebody buddies $2 million funding for a nurse program that I don't know whether it includes fast track. I don't know whether that includes the LPN because they're nurses too. I probably run one of the largest nurses companies in North Florida, staffing company, both health service pool and home health. But that aside, it's giving money to one particular program only opens up the door for other programs to all come ask for money. What if my hood start coming asking for money? How much money are gonna give them? It's a lot of nonprofit programs that exist. And so I think that this board too often has entertained ideals way outside of the box of the scope of the mission that we started on 2 years ago. And if we're not gonna have our asses in here and focusing on getting these empty buildings filled, I would ask that you don't play around with the money in other ways that may make your cronies and your other friendships and partners happy. I ask that you do the work that you lied about in many cases, including every one of you just not up there that made a vote on we were gonna put this here, we're gonna put that here, we're gonna put this here, we're gonna put that here. None of that stuff has happened in about over 2 years. I've seen not one building yet be occupied, but y'all have voted for 2 years on every building be occupied. And now we're talking about some money for scholarships. Just one particular trade. The college has multiple trades. If you're not going to invest in every trade, then don't invest in one trade, right? When in my hood, we call that discriminating. It's called being biased. It's called being selfish with the funds. Don't offer a safety net for one trade, you can offer a safety net for all the trades. If you ain't gonna give money to everybody, don't give money to some people. But what you did make a commitment on was filling the damn building that you hadn't filled it. And so my question becomes, screw all this that's on the agenda with people coming and begging and asking for money, right? Because they eat with you and go out with you and because of your last name, they're your buddies and they may be in public office one day and you may be slaves to each one of those particular masters. I'm more concerned about what you're gonna do with these empty buildings that's in my hood that can continue to be a sore eye and unoccupied. When you're gonna fill them? Because you RFP'd them 2-3 years ago. So I would ask that we stick to the mission from the beginning of the agenda. And I asked board members who voted on that to not be cowards and speak up and let's focus on what we said. The original mission was that we have not completed. How you gonna not complete one thing and start bringing on all this other stuff? That's what I'm asking. I'm just curious how y'all let this stuff get on the agenda. And y'all have not finished the first day business. Don't thank me. This is nothing about this shit.
So that way.
Thank you, Board, Phil and Atlas. So definitely appreciate the passion for wanting to see traction when things happen, to the topic at hand with the scholarship, I did have a question because family members have gone through nursing program, things like that. How many students will be able to benefit from the nursing program? It's more directed at college.
We anticipate 130 a year.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Don't see Mr. Belton's hand raised online. I know he has some comment on it. Any other comments? Wishes of the board? I think what we're doing is I'm entertaining a motion. For that any motion would be subject to Todd's final confirmation as to the precedent and legality of something like this.
Correct.
Thoughts, wishes?
I think it's a wonderful idea because people from all neighborhoods,
I don't want to hear
not
that.
Sylvester,
I'm just telling you, if you ain't gonna give the hood, if you're gonna drop 2.5 million, drop it across the board. If you ain't gonna drop it across the board, I think it's a
Sure.
selfish idea.
Sylvester.
Point of order.
What you mean, point order? She's talking to me.
We're not discussing.
I didn't say you. I just said point of order. I don't want all the back and forth, period.
Hold on, but if you point an order.
We're not doing back and forth. We're just not.
I'm sorry I spoke to Sylvester, okay? But I believe that such a scholarship would be, there were people from many neighborhoods that now cannot afford to go to college. Could go to college and get a degree where they can earn some really good money and help other people.
I agree.
That was the thing.
So without a motion, I'm gonna move on.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, could you give us some guidance as to, I mean, I am concerned about Mr. Kennan's and I appreciate Mr. Mercer being here, but I'm concerned about Mr. Kennan's research that he needs to do. And I don't really know if a motion is actually needed tonight until we hear from Mr. Kennan after his research is completed. But I understand the college. I too, Ms. Chauncey, I like the idea of supporting students. I think that the people that I have spoken to in the community since this came about are very much in favor of it. But then again, I'm concerned about Mr. Kennan's thoughts as to, I hate to make a motion and then we have to come back later next month and find out that we got to undo that motion.
Well, the potential to do that is here. I mean, you can wait till the next meeting in order to get Mr. Kennan's final opinion. However, we then miss the application period. So in my conversations with Mr. Kennan, he felt like things that he had done thus far would indicate that he would not have a problem. There is no obligation on the part of the trustees, should Mr. Kennan come back and say, I found an issue, I found a problem, to then advise the foundation board that you're going to have to withdraw. However, in order to make the application for the matching funds, there is a window. It does require participation or you to state, we are interested in participating. We will participate, up to and including these issues about whatever legalities there may be, if any. But without that, they can't apply.
Yeah, meaning the college can't apply to get the matching funds.
That's right. So really, the whole purpose of this, they don't want to go through an exercise and do all of this work.
Yes, sir.
and then you say, I'm not interested. So what they're asking is, hey, if you're truly interested, assuming that you get the proper legal review to participate in this program at this level, then say so. And if something happens, then you can obviously withdraw. But, you know, they can't apply until you do that.
When's the deadline?
I thought we were going back and forth. It's a
Mr.
white and
Perry.
black thing.
We don't need comments or questions from the audience.
Thoughts of the board,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Field.
Mr. Powell, I hate to put you on the spot. Have you ever dealt with this line fund before? I know you've represented some, not legally, but with your financial experience, other hospital authority boards and counties and state stuff. Are you familiar with this, and do you have any concerns that it would not be?
Okay, so among my clients is the Citrus County Hospital Board in Citrus County, which is almost a mirror image of the Lake Shore Hospital Board. In their instance, they sold their hospital to HCA and received funds. And they have an amount of funding that is similar to ours. They inactive or as to actually operating the hospital. And so the college in that area, which I think is Central Florida College, which again is a mirror image of our college, Florida Gateway, approached them and offered or requested this exact program. They sought and received an opinion of an attorney who is, I'll call him highly experienced in government, only works in government. And he issued them an opinion and entered into an agreement. And so it happened, it was so successful, they requested the funds, and the Citrus Hospital Authority actually funded them for 2 rounds of the funding. Again, their first round, they bought equipment for the nursing program. The second round, they started the scholarship program. It has been very successful, very well received. The college has had a graduation of the nursing students, and the board was recognized as the funding source for those students. Again, they sought a legal opinion of a specialized attorney. He prepared the agreements. The state accepted them, the college accepted them, and it has been well received in that county.
So, Mr. Chair, the only other comment that I have is it says somewhere on here that this would be a last dollar. So other grants and scholarships will be awarded first before this one does. Part of our enabling legislation tells us to not only provide health care for indigent, but also education. And I think it's a good idea. So I would make a motion that we fund it in the amount of $2 million pending, I'm sorry, $2.5 million pending review by our attorney.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve $2.5 million matching funds for the Florida Gateway College, subject to Mr. Kennan's findings. All those in, or sorry, Mr. Kevin?
As to the motion, is that authorizing Florida Gateway College to proceed with the?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, that would authorize them to proceed, and then obviously we're still subject to
Mr. Kennan's interpretation. Thank you.
So a motion and a second, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item for discussion, possible action, transfer of inventory from LSHA to Florida Gateway College, by the two-story women's center. Mr. Williams.
Mr. Chairman, it was implied that this had been done, but just for the record, we need to make sure. The equipment which is in the two-story women's center, which was transferred to the Florida Gateway Foundation, I think it was implied that it went with the building, and we all understood that. I want to make sure that, number one, we understand that that equipment has been declared surplus and that we do intend to or we are transferring it to Florida Gateway College. And there is a list of what was carried on the inventory in the agenda packet. So while I think that has been done, I would need to make sure that it's been done for the purposes of the record. So we declared it surplus, we transferred it to Florida Gateway College as part of the building transfer.
So this is just verifying that we are transferring all the
Yes,
inventory.
making double sure.
I don't know if we need to discuss that other than we'll go to public comment or,
I have a question.
yes.
Is there anything else in the hospital that they could use?
We've invited them to walk through, but we've also invited what, we'll be doing over at the PT building for our facility, our primary care facility, which we believe has priority.
Okay, yes. Okay,
Any other thoughts? Anything else? Public comments, Mr. Warren.
You already think y'all got all the sense from Dale all the way around this board. I'm gonna ask you, Mr. Chairman, to entertain a motion, if you would, to put more money in your legal costs. Because I can promise you that this board is gonna be flooded with lawsuits and injunctions. And if you think, see, when you play with the city, you're playing with children. When you're playing with me, you're boys and you're playing with a grown man. Now, here's the thing. I tie you up and nothing won't move. So if you think it's a game, I would ask that you make a motion and put a shitload of money into your legal account. Because I can promise you that your secretary, she will start getting certified mail as soon as I leave here, starting tomorrow morning. We're gonna start sending out certified letters. We're gonna hold this up in court. Any and everything on this agenda, we're gonna be filing injunctions on. They have discriminated against people who have came up here for RFPs. They have discriminated against other 501c3s who have asked for things. It seems to be nothing but a cliquish thing. I think we can prove that. I think the evidence is there. I think what I love about these meetings is they're audio and they're video. So when Dale was lying and shit, and everybody was voting, all that's recorded. And the lawyers already have it. A lot of private investigators already have the information. I just want y'all to just keep on sweetening up his tea because it's going to be so delicious to drink when we're at mediation and you're trying to beg at arbitration and you're on your knees and we're saying, let's go out to trial because that's who we are. That's who we are. It's not enough college white graduate men in the next 5 to 10 years to drive GDP. You know who's left to drive GDP? People who look like me in my community. You're done, sir. You're done. So the best thing you can do is get on our team. Everybody in America be talking a different language. Because we hold the ball. This is our court. We just been allowing you to play on it. But you'll see. Take me lightly. Take me lightly. I still got 45 seconds. Take me lightly. But I will beg that you put money. Put money. I think one attorney has already served y'all. He'll be willing for some others to serve y'all. Oh, the lawsuit's coming. They're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. And I got plenty of money that I've never unburied.
Some.
My question is, I asked to
Most of that may with your family, legal.
the hospital building, and I was told that was not possible. The city is involved. How can these things be taken from the hospital building over to Gateway if the conditions are not right because of mold and other interior situations that happen? So how can this material be transferred over if it's not allowed by the city? Rooms were closed off.
Sweet.
Just for the board's knowledge, this was the inventory that was already in the building. There's been no transfer from another building. This was the inventory that was in the building at the time it was deeded.
That's how I understood it.
Nothing from the hospital itself.
Nothing.
And may I make a comment about the stuff that is in the hospital? There are ways to decontaminate. People that work in hospitals know how to do that. Thank you.
Any further public comments? On the inventory? Okay. Which is the board? I'll entertain a motion to transfer the inventory.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion that we transfer the inventory on this sheet from the Lakeshore Hospital Authority to Florida Gateway College. The inventory that is kept in the two-story women's center, also known as the Randolph Building.
Have a motion,
Second.
the motion in a second, to transfer the inventory from the Lakeshore Hospital Authority to the Florida Gateway College. The existing inventory that's in the two-story women's center. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item of business, discussion and possible action. The Lakeshore Hospital Authority budget amendments for the following funds year ended September 30th. Basically, we'll let you guys do this one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Obviously, we have to reconcile all budgets for year end being September 30th, 2025. We have the three funds within the Lakeshore Hospital Authority budget: buildings, healthcare, and operating. And I will defer to Mr. Powell to review those with you.
So, only two funds require year-end amendments: the buildings fund and the operating fund. I'll look first at the buildings fund. It is a handout, that's on a landscape page. As you're aware, you've been making amendments quarterly in the hope that the expenses would not continue the whole year, but they did. So in this fund, it is, if you look at the amendment is the column that says amendment 25-4, and as amended is the year-end budget. And you can see that that basically it requires an increase in the transfer from the operating fund of $40,000 for a total transfer of $673,600. The various line items you'll basically cover your actual expenditures for the year. And should we review both of them?
They probably need to do them separate, I would assume.
Right, so any questions on the buildings? And I'll just say that the total transfer of $673,600 represent the public's cost of maintaining the buildings for a year, and it's about $55,000 a month.
Would you probably entertain public comments on this, before we entertain any motions?
I would say this, Dick, I would caution myself, the subpoenas that you may be facing. And I will be very careful on how I frame information to this board as it relates to other boards. and the accounting work and some of the meetings that you sat in. But I like you, Dave. I like you, Dave. And be smart, Dave. That's all I ask. Be smart.
Any other public comments? One. Talk to the board.
Make a motion to approve budget amendment 25-4. The transfer of $40,000 into the buildings administration fund.
Have a motion?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve budget amendment 25-4. Transfer the $40,000 into the building administration fund. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Okay, so the next budget amendment is in your packet, and the title of it is LSHA Hospital Authority Operating Fund, Final Budget Amendment. Here, you're basically balancing out the expenditures for the whole year. And does everyone have it? Does you found it? It has like 1, 2, 3, it has about 4 columns on it. Yes, okay, great, okay, so, in it, as to the interest earnings revenues, they were, they exceeded the, estimated budget by 332,000, for a total of 682,500. The various line items, some line items that, required increases. Audit and accounting services, that is a combination of you entered into a new contract for audit services. And I'll say publicly with a firm that I have no ownership in. And the regular accounting services were somewhat higher due to the various projects. The insurance on the property and directors in office, so there's liability needed to be increased. That's possibly because the buildings were maintained for the whole year. And so, but you had some offsets, supposedly, and legal services were higher by 34,500. That's mainly due to the buildings negotiations. But overall, you had some offsets in the salary accounts. And so overall, this budget amendment requires an increase of $36,000 for operating expenses. And then you have the increase to for the transfer to the buildings fund for a total of the 670,600. So the greatest outflow again was the transfer to the buildings fund. The operating expenses clearly operated. You still had a surplus as to the interest and the line item of expenses, which was 240,000.
Public comments? Thoughts of the board?
Chair, I'd make a motion to approve the final budget amendment amount of $36,000 to the Lakeshore Hospital Authority Operating Fund.
Motion?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes. On to the operating funds.
That was it.
Was that it?
Yes, that was it. The healthcare fund required no amendment.
Ah, even better. Good deal. All right, on to our unfinished business. We've got an update for the future space for the Lakeshore Hospital Authority, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is not an item that requires any action on your part, but I did want to give you an update. As all of you are aware, this building has officially been deeded to Columbia County. So as part of that dedication and that transfer, we received an agreement with the county that they would furnish us as an authority office space when we were displaced for a period of time. So Sonia and I had the opportunity to meet with the county attorney, which is Joel Foreman, and also with David Kraus, who's the county manager, to try and determine where we were in that process. I think it's the county's intent to turn this building into a building for court administration. They have been bringing in various designers and people looking at various ways to create space. And toward that end, they think that it's probably going to be sometime first quarter of 2026 before they actually come into the building and start working. Now, what they have told us at this point is we are more than welcome to stay in our wing of offices and conduct our business, even while some of this construction is going on, because this room and the rooms upstairs is where they're going to concentrate doing their renovations. Now, obviously, even if we're over here and they start in this room, that means we're going to have another meeting location. So they are offering the building at Duval Place, which is where the TDC and the Economic Development Advisory Board meet. I don't know if all of you've been in that room, but it is a room that is set up. They hold quite a few meetings there, and it does have IT already there. While we're here, and as long as we're here, we will continue to pay the certain operating expenses related to this building. Once we transfer to a new location, those will transfer to the county. But again, right now, it looks as if we're looking at probably sometime first quarter of 2026, based on the schedule that we were given. And so I just want to keep you up to date, let you know kind of what they're thinking. As of right now, they're not thinking they will charge us any rent or lease for the use of space. They have a number of options over at that building. Some we think are better than others, but it's not really our call, and they're not in a position as of when we met to tell us which of those options would actually be available to us. They have several outside agencies they're providing space for, which is going to change at some point in the future. Exactly how and where some of those will go, they have not yet determined. So I would say, just based on the one meeting, we're looking at sometime the first quarter of 2026 vacating, moving over to Duval Place. We would be in that area currently occupied by just adjoining the Tourist Development Council, some of those offices, and we would start meeting in that particular meeting room. And so that's where we're at now. And obviously, I'll keep you advised as to what else we may learn as we learn it. But that was the latest they provided us. I think I covered it. Any questions about that? Is there anything that you want me to ask of them?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
And I would just say, if the county hasn't upgraded the audio equipment in that meeting room, I would request that we figure out a way to make sure that we have our own. If my memory serves me correctly, they haven't upgraded it It's not great, and I would rather have a solution of our own.
We did indicate that at some point we would get our IT people with their IT people, and I'll make sure it's understood that they need to pay close attention to the audio.
Any other thoughts? All right. Move on to the next item, discussion and possible action, the RFP for the Lakeshore Hospital Authority Real Estate Consultant.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At your last trustee meeting, you directed me to develop an RFP for a real estate consultant. What you have in your agenda packet is what you directed that I do. I have reviewed that with Todd, and Todd finds it to be in proper form. So we believe that the real estate consultant RFP in the form that you have it meets the requirements of our policy in order to be advertised. The only thing that you would be asked to do is to look at the scope of work. Make sure that is exactly the scope of work that you had requested. Both Todd and I believe it does cover that, but you obviously can make changes as needed. Now, I'm obligated to tell you that it has been suggested from these ongoing legislative acts that may occur regarding the authority that we not dispose of any of our lots until after the legislative session. I can see the argument there. I've been told that, at least ought to make you aware that that would be recommended. Obviously, you can accept that recommendation or not. But there is, as was mentioned earlier, 2 bills that have been filed concerning the authority. Until those bills are resolved and the session is over, it has been suggested that we not dispose of those lots. So I have told you, and you can consider that in your discussions.
Thank you, Dale. Thoughts of the board?
Give public comment.
Public comment, please.
Sure. Public comments? Ms. Lindland.
I do. Dale, we do not know what the future will hold. However, if nothing is resolved, if a company is interested in property within the city limits owned by the authority, they would contact us. Why expend the services of a realtor consultant to do all this work? And what would their compensation be if Dale, if the bills are not, done with? What would be the compensation to a consultant?
Thank you, Ms. Lindland. Any other public comments?
Yeah.
Mr. Ward.
First, I want to thank my attorney for tuning in after my phone call to him. So let's do this. Was it not at one point stated that we were not giving any property away, that we were only dealing with people in medical interests as it relates to the authority board? Wasn't that something that was before this board that was voted on? Please don't lie, because it's voted on, it's reported. If you can't recall, just say you can't recall. This board took action and said that they would not entertain any RFPs outside of the ones that went out about a year and a half ago, a year ago, that they were not going to entertain anymore, and that all property was going to be used for medical. Is that not what this board said in the past and agreed to it? Okay, I take your silence as yes. So I think we got the records to clear that. Also, how do we reconcile as a board, if this was in court, how do you reconcile the fact that you've continuously violated your own votes? You continually violated your own mission. You continually violated everything that you originally voted on earlier, a year back, and made agreements with people. You were in negotiation with people that you didn't even, that you basically didn't say anything. You involve yourself with a company called Palms that's mimicking other people's businesses. I think Dick and Dale is involved in that. That will come out in the investigation in the lawsuit. But my point is, how do you defend this to a rational judge, right, in federal court, and say that you have operated in the good faith of all people, all entities, equally and fairly? Just want you to keep that in mind. Because my attorney is on, and I just want him to remind him to look back and that you all made these commitments, not me. That y'all asked me, they'll include, asked me to go get all these colleges and different people involved and have them come and y'all spit in their face and lie to them. That's on the record. I gotta deal with that. And don't try to let that which ain't perfect, which y'all think y'all are perfect, become the enemy of good.
Any more public comments? Don't see any hands raised online. Go to wishes of the board. Thoughts of the board.
Nothing to add.
Yeah.
Mr. Kennedy.
Um. Last month, when this was brought up, I guess my head has been where it's been for the last 3 years. The hospital. What are we gonna do with the hospital building? And we had a presentation by a fine gentleman that's here tonight, and to be honest with you, it completely went over my head because I was sitting thinking about the hospital building, and what's been going on for 3 years in the hospital, and more specifically, what's been going on since October 21st, 2024, when we got this letter from the city. So my mind has been thinking on that. And one of our fine board members made a motion, and I seconded that motion. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really listen to the presentation that night, but after seeing this RFP that Mr. Williams gave to us, and I've read it about 6 different times and made notes on it, I basically now realize what we're doing. And Mr. Williams, if you don't mind me asking you, from your knowledge and experience with an RFP like this, which I know you do, and if you don't, you've talked to others that have, what would the taxpayers of Columbia County be looking at having someone advise this board as to what we should do with 12 lots? How
Well,
much would it be? Give me a ballpark figure between X and Y, monthly figure, complete total figure, whatever you feel comfortable with.
there have been some similar type proposals locally that were as little as $2,000 a month, and there have been some that I have heard of that would basically reach $5,000 a month. And I think it's fair, though, to try to understand what these types of RFPs do. And, you know, regardless of what you may do, these RFPs are not uncommon. When I put this RFP together, you could find bits and pieces everywhere. It's not uncommon for local governments, state governments, and everybody else to seek advice from professionals as to how to best market property And of course, in this case, we have these lots. We have a lot of competition for these lots, and we have a lot of needs, such as, workforce housing, downtown development, commercial, all of those things, as well as city, county, Florida Gateway needs, and et cetera. Nobody here is experienced in that, and so just like we would hire a consultant for legal or a consultant for accounting, people hire consultants to help them in real estate. Now, having said that, that's what the proposal was to do. It does come at a cost. If I had to guess, I would say you're gonna spend $2,000 to $5,000 per month for these services.
For several months.
It could be several months, yes, it could be, because there's a lot of evaluation if you read the RFP. But then again, the outcome is not going to be anything desirable if you don't do all of the evaluation.
Whereas right now, we have three proposals or three entities, I should say, that are interested, and I'll call them the three Cs in alphabetical order: the city, the college, and the county, that have all come and stated their needs, desires for the property, and all of them sounded great and good. And I would think that our job as good stewards of the taxpayers' money and property would be to, as I have asked before, let's not get the cart ahead of the horse. We've done good with doing what we did on this building, on the Randolph building, and trying to complete the project with the hospital. And I would like to honor sort of the wishes of our legislative delegation to let's kind of pull back the reins a little bit on this horse and hold off on these 12 lots until we get a better understanding where we are come. And it's just right around the corner, March, when the session will be over. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's my only thoughts.
Mr. Kennedy, thank you. So if we issue this, Dale, weren't we gonna issue this in January?
You were going to ask for the responses back, and there you picked the dates. I forgot what they were.
January 5th? When we wanted the dates too.
And then I guess you would receive the responses at your first meeting in January. Is that right, the way it worked? But you specified the dates.
I think the session starts January the 5th.
Think so. I think that's correct. Yes. Starts early in 2026.
Well, I can say, my opinion, for what it's worth, I don't think we have to act on them. I think if we hit the brakes, we're just hitting the brakes for the sake of hitting the brakes. We don't know what's going to happen at the session. We probably have a good idea, but we don't know. If we get them, at least we know we have them. That's my thoughts.
Can I add something to that?
Please.
But we have to pay for them. So why don't we delay it?
But no, if we're just getting the RFP, we're just going to get proposals to go through for January 5th.
Yeah.
There's no cost to us.
There's no cost to us. Okay.
Yeah. That's my point is if we get them out there, at least we know what we're looking at so that it's, hey, we have the information.
Does that need to be stated in the RFP?
That's that.
That if you submit your request on this, it may not be acted upon.
Well, it doesn't have to be stated in the RFP, but I just think it's a common courtesy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those RFPs, there's a lot of work that goes into those responses.
Right, yeah.
You know, and people will spend a good amount of time and a good amount of effort to put them together, and they don't need the practice. So I think it would be only fair, if that's your decision, that I send them a notice out that says, hey, before you act on this, I want you to be aware of this, just as a courtesy.
Couldn't we just table this until sometime as we see how the session's going on, maybe
You
special
can.
meeting in January?
I
or
mean,
the meeting in
even if
February,
you wanted to release it and you released it in January,
February,
you kind of keep your same time frame.
yes, sir.
Then the responses wouldn't be in until after the session is over, unless, of course, they have an extended session. You could do that. You could do what the chair suggested. I mean, any of those are your options, but
Think
as
what-
far as the RFP itself goes, we believe the RFP does exactly what you wanted it to do.
That's true. So push it from January to push it to the end of the legislative session in March.
Yeah, you could direct to release it in January, and then by the time you
Responses by-
advertise, get these back, do those things. And obviously, you know, those bills filed, their local bills, they might not take effect until later in the year, but you'll know what's being filed early in the session. You're going to know.
And how they're progressing,
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any way around that.
and probably would take effect July 1.
Probably so,
New fiscal year.
probably so, but you're gonna, I think you're gonna know sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
Most local bills are that way.
Would it be proper for us to table this or just pass on it? Or is that a Mr. Mercer question?
I mean,
Why don't we just go ahead and ask Dale to put it out the beginning of January with what, March 1st?
I'll just keep those same spacings that you gave me, if that's okay with you, Ms. Chauncey. I mean, you'll have the same amount of time, just in a different time period.
That's fine.
So
Then then we've made the step and we don't have to worry about it.
But I like that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if we do that, I would also ask Dell to let everybody know up front, we may or may not do anything with these.
Well, that's the thing. We may or may not be able to do anything with it.
So
But at
it's
least
again,
they-
we're still kind of
At least
leaving these people, and then there is a lot of work and
Yeah.
time and money that goes into these RFPs. So I think if we do that, I'm fine with that. But if we do that, then we need to give the courtesy of saying, hey, we're putting it out here, and if nothing happens in the legislature, then okay. If it does, we may not do anything.
Yeah.
I just think that's a courtesy that we should extend if we're going to follow that timeline.
Mr. Chairman, one
Yes,
other
sir.
quick question. I know our meeting in January is on January the 12th. Could we ask that because we've only got one other meeting between now and then, and that's in December, and you won't know about these pre-filed bills, the status of them. Probably you'll know something in early January, Mr. Williams. So can we set it for the agenda on January the 12th, and then have a final decision then to send them out in January?
That's certainly doable. We can put this back on the agenda for January 12th. And I would not be surprised if you didn't have some idea.
Me too. Does that need to be a motion, Mr. Chairman, or?
Does it need to be a motion or
Mr.
can it just
Mercer.
be? I don't think it does.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Steve says no.
So we'll put it, Steve said no.
Mr. Mercer.
It'll be affirmative. So we'll table that until January 12th. Wait, look at your calendar. Next item. Todd Kennan's update. Lake City's zoning determination.
Mr. Chairman, obviously, Mr. Kennan could not be with us tonight. he did prepare a paragraph, which I did provide a copy to you. For those that are here with us, if you would like, I'll be glad to, or you can read what Mr. Kennon wanted to say about the chapter 164 issue. Or you can let Steve do it.
I'll let Steve read for us.
Per Mr. Kennon, him and Mr. Arline continue to work with Mr. Martin and negotiate a resolution in chapter 164 proceedings. As an update, Meridian has retained attorney David Flagg to assist Meridian with the zoning and land issues. The current goal is to have these issues resolved or very near completion for consideration at the board's December meeting. We do have to account for Mr. Flagg's involvement, but hopefully Mr. Airline and Mr. Martin will be able to bring him to the current as to the issues concerning the zoning and land issues or land use. That is paragraph prepared from Mr. Kenner for the board tonight.
Thank you. Well, entertain public comment. Anything? No? The board on this? Comments? Just wait.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Doing board member comments?
Yeah, we'll do some. If there's no thoughts, Mr. Kennedy, did you, or sorry?
No, I agree with Mrs. Chauncey. I'll second her motion.
There we go.
I do, Mr. Chair, I do have some board member comments.
We'll move on from this item
Okay.
and we will, your staff reports in your packet, and we'll go on to board member comments. Chauncey, beyond having a happy Thanksgiving.
I have no comments to make.
Oh,
No, Mr. Chair.
none for myself, Mr. Beal.
So just as a general statement and reminder and a request from myself as a board member. At the beginning of the meeting, we have public comments. We give individuals 3 minutes to make any general comments they want. They can say that I should take Rogaine. They can say whatever they want to say during those 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be about any specific topic. But there's a very particular word in there called comments and not questions. And I have a problem whenever we allow people to ask questions and those questions be answered during that time. Part of the reason that we made our rules for each individual item, whenever comments are allowed to be said at the beginning after the item is introduced, is that way, if there are any questions that are brought up from the public during their comments, we then have the opportunity to discuss, ask those questions of staff or the presenter or whoever it is, and get those questions answered. It's a waste of other people's time. It's a waste of our money whenever we have some very highly paid individuals who are all very sharp dressed people up here tonight, by the way, thank you. But this isn't a question and answer session. No other board in the state of Florida allows that to happen. So respectfully, I would ask for myself as well as others that we hold the public to the rules just like we hold ourselves to the rules. And I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. Beal. Dale, anything?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I agree with those comments too, Mr. Chairman.
Appreciate it. All right, meeting's adjourned.